Hey guys, talking about the rotator cuff, not the rotary cup for anyone out there. So what is that? That is 4 muscles that are on the back of your shoulder here, and they help put our shoulders in good positions. We get a lot of orthopedic injuries and folks who have unstable shoulders, folks who have too tight of a shoulder. All of that tends to throw us off. Go figure, we need the right amount, Goldilocks. So the closer we are in the right amount of stability and mobility for the shoulder, there needs to be that balance. So those rotator cuff muscles, what do? If the arm bone here, we say there's a ball and socket, right? Those rotator cuff muscles, as we lift our arm up, they keep that ball in the center of the socket, so it's not clunking up too much. And again, if you're very tight in your pecs, if you're sitting on the computer all day, that's gonna stretch these out in a way where they are having difficulty working. So let's talk about a really easy way to start waking up one of the most important motions of those rotator cuffs, the external rotation. Okay, so that's what this looks like. That's throwing a ball. That's this motion, external rotation. Okay, if we have limitations there in a range of motion, so if you go to do this and you can only get to 45 degrees instead of 90 degrees, or if we say this is 180 degrees, this is 135 degrees, 90, 0, however you want to look at it. If you're limited in how far back you can go, or if you're compensating from other parts, we need to start paying attention to these pieces, because anytime, again, I have a shoulder injury, we need to look upstream, downstream, all the different areas to see where that's coming from. So let's focus here on external rotation. Using a rubber band, I didn't mean to make this match my shirt, but that's what's gonna happen sometimes. So, external rotation. I see a lot of these getting done incorrectly. Now, are you wasting time? A little bit if you're doing these wrong. If you can be more precise with getting these activated, and this is coming from a lot of research. So, what do we see? We see this exercise, right? And you're trying to pull the arm band apart. If the elbows are leaving the arm there, elbows are leaving your side, that's going to be our first piece of the puzzle, where we need to put something underneath the elbow. This activation of adduction, adding to the body, keeping that connection, and now doing the same motion, 90 degrees, right, is going to start activating the actual rotator cuff muscles back here. Supraspinatus above the spine, infraspinatus, the subscapularis, and the teres minor. Those are the 4. SITS, I said them out of order. Don't worry about that. But that external rotation starts activating all the muscles together and starts putting the ball and socket into a happier position. So if you can keep something underneath that elbow, that's going to activate that muscle. The other thing I see people doing wrong here is they start to straighten the arm out, right? So that's going to get a little more tricep, or they come up too high and that gets a little too much bicep. So it's really important. We're trying to keep this at 90 degrees. Again, boom, boom, 90-degree angle, and you keep that motion the whole way through resistance. All right, and if you're feeling it again, back here, back of the shoulder, that's what we need. And how do we also make sure that's happening and avoid this little thing? So people do this in a bad position where they're rounding their shoulders forward. All of these things are gonna add up to being less than ideal. And then I have to talk about one of the other most common errors I see with these, and that is grabbing a weight and doing this, okay? This is not working the muscle. There's no resistance against the rotator cuff muscle. This is simply activating, and I'm holding this. I might as well be doing, we call this the drinking game, like a glass, but that's the brachioradialis muscle. And so we need to, if you're doing that to strengthen your brachioradialis, great, you're doing that. You're holding it in a good position. This might activate a little bit of muscles back there, but nowhere near as effective as getting a rubber band, a TheraBand, a jump band, any of these bands, and activating here, really fighting to keep that elbow down to the side. Okay, good? Questions, answers, thoughts, feelings, concerns, criticisms. I'm open to all of it. I hope you guys got something out of this conversation. If you have questions about the shoulder, if you have aches, pains, tweaks, I can almost guarantee you they are not normal. They may be very common, where a lot of people have those aches and pains, but we need to pay attention to what those are saying to us. Remember that pain is a request for change. So if it's pain, we can also differentiate if it's pain, soreness, achiness, dullness, all these different kind of concepts. So I'm done rambling. If you do have some stuff going on your shoulders, anywhere around the shoulder, let's talk about that. We can hit up every joint of the body, hips, knees, ankles, all of that, even in the head. All right? Hit me up. Let's chat. Let me know how you think, feel, and live your life. I don't know. That was a weird ending.